Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War. This is Haarute, my name is Matt, hello. Okay, so, last time on Bleach, a lot of shit happened. Not a lot of shit happened, but also a lot of shit happened. Like, the episode itself didn't have many events happening per minute or whatever. And yet, okay, so things that happened last week, Yamamoto died for sure. We literally saw his body get sliced in half and fall over. Byakuya died. We saw him in the process of dying before. Now we know for sure he's dead. If they pull out some bullshit like he didn't die, I'm gonna be upset because last week was definitely like, okay, no, he's dead. I'm pretty sure he's dead. And that was sad. And I'm sad now. And I'm gonna be sad for Rukia, who is also been severely injured. I don't think she's dead because we didn't give her a death treatment. We didn't see her fight, but we saw the kind of aftermath of it, where whoever she was fighting with was like, oh, I guess you can't talk to me anymore, and then she left. And then Ichigo went and fought Yahabaha by himself, and he was raging out, and it was cool, and they had a cool fight. There was a lot of cool animation in there, but ultimately he was no match for it. And we learned that also Ichigo's a Quincy, apparently. And I did a lot of theorizing about, like, why, what, how. Like, I was like, okay, is his mom a descendant directly from Yahabaha? Is Ryuken his uncle making Uryu his cousin? I was just coming up with some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna be doing with that, but that was revealed to us. And, like, I did say it before, last week. I think I said it. But it's better to do it this way, because if Kubo was cooking some Ichigo was a Quincy bullshit for a while, or if he just decided to do it on a whim, but I don't think he did, because we have had hints of some weird relationship with his dad and Ryuken before, which I suppose is the one thing I can latch onto and be like, okay, there was something. I think it's better to do it this way, where they tell it to you, and then later when Ichigo gets another bullshit power up, the Quincy one, we are like, okay, we accept it, instead of it being pulled out of his ass. There might be some kind of training arc or something that he can go in order to develop Quincy abilities, because like, okay, so ultimately we're watching a shonen anime, and what I'm thinking is Ichigo's gonna get more power-ups, because this is just kind of how shonen works. Not all shonen, but a lot of shonen, and Bleach has definitely done this before. So I'm thinking, okay, Ichigo's gonna get a power-up, another one. It's gonna be the Quincy one. It's better for them to just drop it on you now, so then we build up to it, instead of it just happening, which is kind of what the final Getsuga Tensho was. And I don't even know if I'm right on this, but I don't know if we're gonna have the time to have any kind of training, because it feels like this season has just gone off the rails and so hard so fast, and I don't think we have any downtime in order to do anything other than just like, oh fuck, we're going. So I know what we're gonna be doing here. But okay, I did say last week also that it feels like this is the downtime. Like, last week, we finally finished the siege we've been having for like 5 episodes straight. Like, this entire season, 7 episodes was just escalation, just shit happening one after the other. So it feels like now, finally, everything has stopped happening. And the only reason why I feel like that's good is because we need to have some kind of release from that, so that we are able to think about what just happened before we restart the bullshit. So this episode, I'm looking forward to it, because a lot just happened, and I want to see characters' reaction to that. I also want to see some mysteries being unveiled by about the whole Quincy stuff. I want Ichigo to ask some questions to Dad and be like, "Hey, yo, Dad, what the fuck?" All right, so I don't know how much of that is gonna happen this episode, but we're just gonna jump into it. Before we begin, this is a new microphone. You might have noticed, because this one glows. The older microphone was dying, so I bought a new one. I might have mentioned this before or not. It just arrived this week. But something that happens whenever you get something new in your audiovisual setting, be it a camera or a microphone or whatever, is that you gotta figure your new bullshit out. So I have to figure out my new filters and stuff for this microphone. And if it sounds bad, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I will spend a little bit of time with it on post-production, so I'll try to make sure it sounds good enough. It definitely sounds better without any filters on, but I'll see what I can do after that on Audition, so let's see what the final product's gonna be. Hopefully it will be good. If it's not, I'm sorry. All right, we're getting ready to begin. So Patreon, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can watch the next 2 episode reactions to Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, as well as full-length reactions to the entire show. And just supporting the channel, that would help me out a lot, like buying this microphone, for example. That's how I got it. All right, let us begin. So Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, episode 8. Let's go. Oh, this guy's still alive. Medic Man from Soul Society.
感情に任せて口走ってはいけません。ありません。泣かなくとも良いのです。イサネ、4番大社を動くな。それが総隊長が私たちに下された最後の命令だったのですから。
Yeah, what the fuck is that title? What the fuck is that title? I'm sorry, like, I couldn't even read it. But like, I saw it last week. It was like, start shooting Project Zero Mix or some bullshit. Like, what? Yeah, that transition between those two was very deliberate. I'm glad I picked up on that. Oh, is that the remains of Ryujin Jaka? Okay, they're all fine. Don't worry about the holes in their bodies. Also, Hanataru is fine as well.
ルキア、お前喋って大丈夫なのかよ。
今容体は安定していると言っていただろう。聞いていなかったのか、タオケ。てめえ。ソウルソサイティを守りに来てくれたのだな。
まあ今回俺何もできなかったけどな。
アホか。お前が敵の親玉を追っ払ったんやんけ。とシャキッと胸張らんかいボケ。
開こ
う。イチゴはなぜあんな辛そうな顔をしていたのでしょう。
あいつも大変やったみたいやからな。
Yeah, he's not telling them about the
もおら
Quincy
れて
shit.
もうたし、結局誰も助けられへんかったし。
Also that.
疲れてんねやろ。心配せんで。
It's been a rough day for everybody involved here.
本当にそれだけでしょうか。
Oh, Ricky can tell that there's something else. She knows them. They're close.
総隊長の遺体は発見されなかったそうだ。
Oh yeah, he like annihilated us.
朽木白夜6番隊隊長およびザラキケンパチ11番隊隊長ともに一命を取り留められました。
What?
おそらくはこの先目を覚ますこと。
下がれ！今はそんな報告聞きたくもない。これ以上何を受け入れろというのだ。
よせ、みっともね。
総隊長殿に恨みがあるからそう落ち着いていられるのだ。
なんだと？やめろソイフォン。
Stop fighting each other. Yeah.
はいはい。
It's a rough day.
はい。喧嘩しない。遺品を前に泣いたり怒ったり。情けなくて震えが来るってね。
The eye patch look is really cool on him.
前を向こうじゃないの。僕らは
I like this for
13体だ
Kiraka.
ろ。
He's definitely the most hurt.
あんた自分の残白と折ってから直したりしてたろ。
What do you mean he can't be fixed?
を直せるのはただ所有者自身の精神。
I mean, yeah, I would assume that
そして
that's
それを
that's
残
the
白糖に
case.
注ぎ込むための時間。残白糖の破壊は視界と挽回でまるで意味が異なる。
Oh, what?
破壊された挽回は二度と元には戻らないのだ。
What? I don't believe that. Okay, so we're gonna do something about it.
What?
God!
しばらく見なかったけど、ソウルソサイティにいたのか。
Exactly my thoughts. Where the fuck was he?
ゼロ番隊様のお出ましだよ。
Squad Zero.
兵艇がこんなになるまで出てこないなんて、普段どこにいるんだよ。
霊王宮だよ。
Royal Palace.
最初に来た時この壁が降ってきたのを覚えてるかい？この精霊壁はここしばらく精霊艇が騒がしいから常にここを囲んでるが、本来は緊急時に精霊艇を取り囲んで守るものだ。壁は普段どこを守ってる？
Oh, the Royal Palace. Okay. So up in the sky.
ゼロ番隊の全構成員は
5 members.
その5人の総力は13体全軍以上だ。
I believe it. A new group of badasses. Let me see them. Let me see the signs. I like that. Completely ruining the mistake.
久しぶりだね、シンジ。
Oh!
よりちゃんは一緒じゃないのかい？
You know her?
私だよ、キリオ。
cute.
あんた企業さんか？変わったどころの騒ぎやないで。誰やねん。
久しぶりだな、ウノハナ。
I like this guy.
どうだ、俺が教えた治療の技は。
Oh, he's the healer. He taught her.
今回随分と死人が出たみてえじゃねえか。どうなってんだおい。ゼロ番隊の皆さんは相変わらずだね、おしょう。
恩師が黒崎一護か。恩師を上へ連れて行く。
ふざけるな。
What? To meet God?
団体がどれだけ偉いか知らぬが、精霊帝がこんなになるまで上でほうけていた連中。
Okay, I like that Soy Fine is bringing this up. I mean, they have to defend the Soul King, so of course they will stay upstairs.
うるせえよ。
なんだ今の動きは。
俺らの仕事は王宮の守護。おめえらの仕事は精霊帝の守護。御帝の名前を背負った連中が守れねえから助けてくださいじゃ。御帝の虹の名が鳴くぜ。
後にせえと言うたろうが。
It seems like this guy is the main guy. There's no main guy, but...
名簿にあったものはすべてすでにここに揃えてある。
Oh, okay. I like her.
そちだけじゃ。
その球体に入っている3名はいずれも今精霊帝を出ては危険な状態です。
だから連れて行くんだろうが、お
They'll be fine up
おめえ
there.
も分かってるはずだぜ。この3人はおめえの力じゃ全開には戻せねえ。
Ooh.
分かってんだろレッツ。今のおめえがやるべきことは治療なんかじゃねえってことは。
侵入したのか。相変わらず舐めた真似をしてくれるね。
わらわのおった頃よりも随分と鍵は緩かったの。
どうも。
Haarute?
お久しぶりです、皆さん。
Gon just has the projector in his head. Okay, chat's good. We're good. Everyone's good.
何やってんだお前ら。
Is that in the back?
もしかして。
What?
黒崎てめえ、そこにいやがんだな。
That wasn't a Rancor. I'm not sure what a Rancor. Was the fucking Grimjo?
霊王宮ってとこに行けば俺の天差残月を直せるのか。
そいつは無理だ。元の刀に近いものへと打ち直すことはできる。
Something similar. Okay.
連れて行ってくれ、霊王宮へ。
よし
Yo!
打ち上げるぞ。
I'm so happy to see her again. I love Kukakushiba. She's the fucking best.
よかったのかよ、姉ちゃん。
Oh my god, Ganju. Kukakushi is like the coolest fucking Bleach character.
おじきが悲しむことになる。
What? What relationship do they have? What the f- Okay, sure.
忘れんな。
恩着せがましい姉ちゃんだぜ。同感です。
気合い。
What the fuck is happening? He has a mullet now, and it looks kind of cool. Why is Ginjo alive? Why are they? Okay, this is cool. This is Bleach All Stars. Also, we're in heaven now, by the way. What the fuck is happening?
ここがアイゼンがアーマでして立ち入ろうとした場所。霊王宮ってのは王権ってのがないと入れないんじゃなかったのか。
王権とはゼロ番隊に選別された際に霊王の力によって変質したわしらの骨のことを指す。
So your bodies can get in here.
奴は己の霊術でわしら自身を作り出そうとしたのだ。
I see.
アイゼン宗介。奴こそはまさしく悪そのもの。じゃが心せ黒崎一護。こたびのクイーンシーどもはそれをしのぐ凶悪となろう。
Yeah, we gotta set them up. We're at the main entrance.
本で霊王大代理。霊王様がおわすのはあそこだよ。周りに浮かんでる5つの盆のようなもの。あたしらの城さ。
この俺様の麒麟殿に来てもらう。
Okay, are you gonna reforge your swords? No, we're going to an onsen. Okay.
当時に決まってんだ。
Oh, is this a healing onsen?
こってり絞り切ってスッカスカな白夜をぶっ込む。
Just yeet that shit!
黙ってろっつってんだ。
Don't question my shit!
最終的には体中の腐れた血と冷圧を一滴残らずうちの湯と入れ替える。そいつが俺の直し方だ。一晩もありゃ元の倍ほども元気にしてやる。 Hot
Spring Demon. That's the title. I was like, there's no fucking way that's the end of the episode. And it was. Fuck my life. These episodes go by so fucking fast. I'm tired of this shit. I need more. Lights. Hey, yo, that's God right there. So God does sleep. Bleach 9, the drop. What do you mean the drop? What do you mean the drop? We haven't dropped yet? The drop hasn't happened yet? What do you mean the drop? Hopefully it's not like a dubstep song. Hopefully it's just a title. Hopefully it doesn't mean anything. Okay, hello, what's up? Sorry, it's been a couple of hours since I recorded the episode originally. I went and had to make myself some food, and that took a while. It was fucking delicious. And then I couldn't record for a couple more hours, but now I'm here. Hello. Let's talk about Bleach. I've just been sitting here thinking about Bleach for a while, about that episode, because, like, I have episode 366 pulled up here, and Ginjo fucking dies in it. And then it's specifically it's a point in the episode about the transportation of Ginjo's corpse. And then it's like, okay, don't worry about it. He's alive, actually. Like, okay, I haven't watched episode 8 yet. I haven't skimmed through it, but I'm gonna do that now because I need to see this, okay? Is that fucking Giriko? Okay, so the thing about Thousand Year Blood War is that it's starting to feel like Bleach All-Stars. That's what this is. Like, Thousand Year Blood War feels like, okay, this is the final arc. So Taikuo was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. And like, he's doing the anime equivalent of Power Rangers Wild Force episode Forever Red, where every Red Ranger from every arc shows up and they all team up and they do a cool episode because for pure fan service. It feels like that. It feels like Taikubo is just like, all right, I'm gonna bring up everything and everyone, like every cool character that I ever like wrote into my manga is gonna come back and they're gonna do something. And it's like, okay, but they were an antagonist, or they were evil, or they died. And Taikubo was like, shut the fuck up. And it's like, why are they hanging out together? What is the relationship here? Why would they cooperate with each other? They have nothing to do with each other. And Taikubo was like, shut the fuck up, because I say so. That's the answer. Because it's fucking cool. And you know what? I'm into it. Bleach is starting to feel like I think that was Grimjo, wasn't it? That was very clearly an Arankar, but I'm not sure which one. I'm afraid of looking up images of Grimjo and getting spoiled that he's back for sure, for confirmation, so I'm not gonna do that. Because like, they're talking about the voice and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't remember the voice. I haven't watched the Hueco arc of Bleach since I was 14 years old. Well, actually maybe 16 or something like that. I rewatched Bleach a couple times, but I don't remember Grimjo's voice. I'm sorry, Grimjo wasn't necessarily one of my favorite characters. Neither was Ulquiorra. I think those are characters that are more for the Fujo crowd, which is valid. I support them, but they're not for me. However, I think they are cool. This is very clearly an Arankar, like judging by just their clothing. I mean, maybe if I just look up a general picture of the espadas, maybe I can get a full body picture. Like, what I need to see is where the hole for... Okay, here's a picture I found on Google Images. Yeah, I think that was Grimjo, actually. I think that was Grimjo in the episode, because Grimjo does have the hole in like his belly button, which you can see in the episode. I have the frame right here. So that was Grimjo. And yeah, the only person that really wears the clothes like that is Grimjo, as well as Ulquiorra. Maybe Tia Haribo. Wait, where does Tia Haribo have her hole? No, but that's very clearly a dude. That's not a woman. So that's Grimjo. That's just Grimjo. Okay, Grimjo's back. So Grimjo's back. Ginjo is back. Ganju is back. That's a fun three-piece. They're not really working together, but two of them are. And that's a fun combination of names right there. Tsukishima is back. Giriko is back. I think that was Giriko. I'm pretty sure that was fucking Giriko. I saw Giriko get fucking sliced in half And like there was a scene where Yukio and Jackie talked to each other, and they specifically said like, "Oh yeah, I found Giriko's dead body over there," and they talked about it. And it's like, okay, he's here again, alive for some reason. So is Ginjo, and like, okay, now I'm thinking about like the mechanics of life and death, because like, sure, if they were human, I guess when they die, they could just go into Soul Society and continue to be themselves. But like, I don't think that's how it works. Maybe that's how it works. I don't remember. But maybe they're gonna pull off some bullshit like, well, because they were Fullbringers, they had enough Reiatsu or whatever that they were able to retain their individuality when they got into Soul Society, and also retain their clothing because they really like their clothing, I guess. But also Ginjo was not really a human. He was a substitute Soul Reaper, so I guess. Yeah, if Ichigo is a human, then Ginjo could have been a human as well. But I guess his soul didn't die. But what's the deal with his corpse? Bleach has just gotten so dumb this episode. And when I say that, I don't mean it as a negative, by the way. This is something that happens a lot on my channel. Sometimes I just call things dumb and stupid, and people think that I'm being a negative Nancy about it. I'm not. I like dumb and stupid. My favorite show of all time is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. My critical brain is sitting here thinking like, this doesn't make any sense though. And then a greater overtaking part of my brain is like, yeah, but it's so cool though. And that's where I'm sitting right now. But like I'm thinking about like, it's stupid because last episode we mourned Byakuya. And I was like, oh, he's fucking dead. And in fact, before I watched this very episode, I was like, yeah, he's dead. In fact, if he's not dead, I'm going to be upset. And then this episode rolls up and it's like, actually, he's alive. And now we're making jokes tossing his body into like the onsen and shit. And it's like, okay. I guess there were no consequences for this episode then. I mean, Yamamoto is dead. But at the same time, even though I saw him get sliced in half and disintegrated or whatever, he could show up again. I don't know. Ginjo's back, Giriko's back, Tsukishima's like, okay, here's the thing about Tsukishima. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up because now Fullbringers are actually things that matter and I need to talk about it. Because like, I mentioned this in episode 1, but I'm gonna bring it up again in case you didn't watch that. But I didn't watch the Fullbringer arc of Bleach originally when I was much younger, 10 years ago. I watched Fullbringer before I watched 1,000-Year Blood War, like a couple months ago. So a couple months ago when Chainsaw Man was coming out, I was watching the Fullbringer arc of Bleach on my own time. So then I would be able to watch 1,000-Year Blood War and just use that as a direct continuation. And I'm like, okay, I understand everything. I have full clarity of what's going on. Because I knew that Fullbringer was canon, even though it's kind of didn't feel like it was. So I was like, I'm gonna watch it. I need to watch it. So I did. And I actually did enjoy Fullbringer. However, that also means that Fullbringer is relatively fresh in my mind. Out of all people, Tsukishima feels like the one that I would have expected for him to come back alongside Jackie, Yukio, and God, I forgot her name, and I really like her, Riruka. She's the one I really like, Riruka. I would expect them to come back because out of all people, Tsukishima is the one that has like an ambiguous ending, and it's a really nice ending, and I really liked it. And I wasn't sure if he died or not. And I was like, okay, out of all people, it would make sense for him to come back again. Because it's open-ended. So, whatever. He could still be kicking around, just hanging out with his, God, I forgot his name. Shishigobara. The kid, yeah. So that's the one that I would expect to come back. Ginjo? And Giriko? Okay, sure. I'll allow it. Because I don't have that many hard opinions about them in order for me to care whether or not they come back or not. And in fact, I think it's kind of cool. And like, that's the reason why this is starting to feel like Bleach All-Stars. Because it's, okay, I mentioned this before many times, but when this arc originally came out in the manga, I didn't read it, but I remember there were headlines and everything, and I think I read the first chapter. It was explicitly referred to, like, it stated, like, told to you, this is the final arc. It's like final arc, 1,000-Year Blood War, and then we go. And that's immediately set up from the start of the arc. So this is Tite Kubo deciding, this is the end of Bleach. So now that I have decided that this is gonna be it, what am I gonna cook? And I think that he just decided, you know what? The best way to end Bleach would be for me to bring in everything that has made Bleach. So it's gonna be kind of a celebration of Bleach. Grimjo's back, Ginjo is back. He didn't die. As well as Tsukishima. Ganju and Kukakushiba, they're back too. They're hanging out with the Fullbringers. There's no fucking reason why they should, but they are. They also are acquaintances with Ichigo's dad, which I don't really remember if that was something that was stated before or not. That's something that we see here. Grimjo, Seibu, Urahara, Inoue, and Chad. I don't fucking know. I mean, okay. If Tier Harville is alive and reigning Wekamundo, I suppose Grimjo could be alive and just chilling around in Wekamundo as well. What's interesting about Grimjo is that he didn't seem to be transformed though. Like in this episode you don't really see him, but you see like a little bit of him, and it seems like he's in his like sealed form, which is not what I would expect out of an Arankar. So yeah. Anyway, that doesn't really matter much. But Grimjo's here. He's saving Urahara, Inoue, and Chad. No idea why. So much shit is just being thrown at you, and like I think that's the reason why this works. I feel like if you tell someone does this work, some people might say it doesn't. For me, I think it's fine, and the reason why is because this is Bleach All Stars. It's because this is the final arc, and I have this feeling of like, oh shit is real, because that's we've been doing that for like 6 episodes in a row. Like, dude, we've been going on a fucking roller coaster for 6 episodes. So it feels like shit is very much real. So on top of that, it feels like, okay, it would be really cool if a new threat showed up and it was so powerful and it was so crazy. And now every character that we have met throughout the show is just gonna show up, and they're gonna like be an actual active party during the events of this final arc. So like, we're gonna get all the Shinigamis, we're gonna get the Orankars, we're gonna get the Fullbringer, and everything about this is just gonna mix in with our main cast of characters, and all of that is gonna somehow come into clash with the Quincy King and the Quincy's in general. And like, that's crazy to me, because like, the reason why the Arankar arc was kind of a dud for me, I mean, I enjoyed near the end the battle for Karakura Town. I did enjoy that part, and the reason why I enjoy that part is because we're finally getting to see how there is interaction between Aizen and the Shinigamis that all know Aizen, as well as Tozen and Ichimaru, and then the Bisert who come in, and the Bisert are kind of this weird third party that they decide to help the Shinigami, but then there's also this thing of like, the head captain didn't want to call all of them and kill them all, and now they're here helping them out, and they're like, all right, like Aizen is the one that we really hate. So we're gonna like team up, weirdly enough, but there's like all this like interesting interactions between all of them, all of the parties in that fight, and that's what I really liked. We didn't have any of that in the Rancor arc because it was just, we're fighting a bunch of weird dudes, and that was that. And even with every single Espada, it felt like, okay, this is a boss character, but we don't really have any kind of connection here. That changes here, because that means that now we do have a connection with those characters. So now we actually do care about the fact that they come back, and now they can be allies or they could be enemies. Like Aizen saved Soul Society kind of weirdly, but he could still be a player, and in fact I'm expecting him to be somehow involved in the events of Thousand Year Blood War. He could be the secret main antagonist actually. Like the Aizen arc actually never ended. This is just like the downtime, and then he's gonna come in again and we have to defeat him for real this time. Like that could happen. But yeah, for Thousand Year Blood War, it feels like we are building up to a lot of really cool interactions between a lot of characters that were already established. Like sure, we're gonna get a bunch of Quincy's and stuff that are going to be new characters, but we're going to have so many characters that are going to be established characters that you're going to be down for it. You're going to be happy. Like here's Ichigo, here's all the humans that you come to know and love from the first couple episodes. Here's all the Shinigamis that you knew from the first like 60 episodes. Here's the Visor. Remember the backstory? Here's Urahara with his backstory with the Visors. Here's all of the Orankars that we fought, because every fight with the Orankars really felt like we're understanding each other, but then also fuck you, I win. That's kind of what they felt like. So yeah, anyway, here's Grimjo. Tier Harville could be an ally. I don't know, Ukura could show up again. I don't fucking know. He got disintegrated, but Taiko doesn't give a shit, so he could show up again. I don't know. He did have like an understanding moment with Inoue at the end, I guess. Here's all the Fullbringers. The Fullbringers are the ones that I more than anything believe that they're helping, right? Because like it felt like they were all a bunch of lonely outcasts, because that's what they were. And like Ichigo befriended them in a weird way, because like that was the thing at the end of Fullbringer arc, is that like Ichigo kills Ginjo, but then at the same time Ichigo's like the only person that really understands Ginjo, and Ginjo didn't want to be alone, so at the end he wasn't. And that's why Riruka like saves him at the end from Tsukishima, and they have like a moment of understanding too, and that's kind of cool. I like that about Fullbringer. So I would be down for them to just show up again and be like, actually, we're gonna help out our boy Ichigo because we like Ichigo, and that's it. That's just the whole reason. I'm down for that. Anyway, talking a lot about things that were only teased and not actually happen in the episode. Let's talk about Squad Zero, the Royal Guard. We got introduced to a group of 5 new characters. They're all captain levels, but the 5 of them are way stronger than the 13 courts. And these 5 members, they are fun characters. Okay, so we got 2 thug characters. The moment they show up, it's like they bring in a party. Okay, we have this lady with the purple hair. We have this guy who is really just a thug. He's a delinquent. He has like the weird pompadour. That's not really a pompadour. It's like way too exaggerated to be a pompadour. And he's waving a flag and he's super energetic and shit. We have this lady. I really like this lady. She has like mechanical arms. And she shows up playing a bunch of instruments actually. And it's really fun. We have this guy that we didn't really get to see a lot of, who is this dude who has glasses on and a weird mohawk thing, and he's just like, yeah. And then we have this final guy who seems to be the guy quote unquote in charge, even though they all seem to be on the same level. At least that's what they said. And this is just a big bald guy with a big beard, and that's all I have to say. That's Squad Zero. That's the Royal Guard. These are the guardians of God. Like, these are God's archangels that are guarding him, apparently. They're all super strong. Okay, we just got introduced to a new cast of characters, a new level of characters we have to care about. These are newly established boss tier characters. Because we haven't know them at all, I don't know if I should trust them. They seem cool. And they're supposedly the good guys, so let's trust them for now. Ichigo goes to heaven alongside Rukia, Renji, and Byakuya, who's still alive. So, okay, when Tensei Zangetsu was broken last episode, I didn't even talk about it at all, because I was sitting here thinking like, well, it's like a representation of your soul kind of thing that comes from you. I was kind of imagining like a stand in JoJo. When stands in JoJo get damaged, they just like, it doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, next episode they're fine. And the reason why is because I just imagine it's like, well, after you just, it's like D&D. You take a long rest and then you wake up and you have all your skill points back up. And it's like, I imagine it would be something like that, where if Ichigo just chill down and just, I don't know, went to bed or something, and then he would wake up and, oh, my sword is back together. Like, I would imagine that's kind of how it works, because, you know, it is a part of you, right? It's not like a physical thing that's real. I suppose it is, but it is also a part of you. But Kuratsuchi specifically says, yes, you can do that with a Shikai. You cannot do that with a Bankai. A Bankai actually cannot be restored. It's fucked forever. And it's like, okay, I don't know if I believe that, but I'll believe you. Like, that to me sounds like bullshit, but I believe it. To me, that honestly just sounds like Kubo was like, yeah, okay, we have a reason for Ichigo to go upstairs so he can meet all these characters, all these cool characters that I just imagined. So, and also maybe give him an excuse for a power-up. And maybe just a new design that I think would look cool. You know what? That's fine. Because, like, this is something I always do. I always think about, like, okay, why did you write this? What was the reason? And oftentimes I can just imagine the writer being like, yeah, because it's cool. And I'm like, you know what? Valid. I support that. So that's kind of how I feel about Ichigo's sword being broken. And it's like, don't worry, we're going to reforge you a new one. And I'm like, okay. The fact that Byakuya is still alive is such fucking bullshit. Because, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, oh, he's dead. He's super dead. Like, last week we had a death scene. It was very clearly a death scene. The way it was directed, the way it was written, everything about it. He was like, I'm sorry, I failed. And it's all the rain and shit and the silence. And it's you see, like, the petals, like, you see him, like, letting go of the sword with this, like, white background in slow motion. And it's like, oh, he's dead. He's super dead. No, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. I guess Byakuya is fine. And like the thing is that like I said before, like, oh, Byakuya's not gonna die because he's too cool, he's too important, right? He's too much of a real character for him to die right now. He might die later, but not right now. When the siege first started, I guess retroactively I was right, but I for sure believe he was dead like 3 episodes ago. And then last episode I was like, oh, he's dead. And then this episode was like, don't worry about it. That was instant. That was immediate. Daikubo immediately dialed back that decision. He was like, actually, no, never mind. That's kind of funny to me. So we got the hot spring demon, Tenjiro Kirinji, who's this guy, the delinquent looking guy who heals people in his onsen. The hot spring demon, the onsen demon. I mean, I'm sure your onsen is great, my man, but like, how do you fight? I mean, maybe he's not a fighter, right? Like, not every Shinigami has to be a fighter. Sure, maybe he just doesn't fight at all. Maybe this is all he does. And maybe the onsen is so fucking good that it's just like, sure, man. Like everyone is immortal as long as they touch the onsen. So maybe it's nice to keep him around to guard God. Not to guard God, but because he's guarding all the other 4 guardians. And as long as they have the best healer around to supply them with onsen water, they're fine. But like, how is that useful in a fight? Like, does he like grab like a bucket of onsen water and then in the middle of the fight he just like yeets that shit onto his allies like a fucking JRPG healer, just fucking throwing water at people like a resto shaman in World of Warcraft, just throwing water at people, and then they're like, all right, I'm back to full, baby, and they just fucking stomp on everybody? Like, this is a guardian of God and this is what we do here? All right, sure, whatever, man. I'm not questioning his ability. I just want to know exactly how they work. How does the squad works? So earlier in the episode, we do have a more serious first half where we're dealing with the immediate like repercussions of the assault, where Ichigo gets to talk to Ruge for a second. The captains gather and talk about Yamamoto dying. I like that Isane is talking to Unohana about, you know, it was wise for us to stay here. And then Unohana is like, you know why we stayed here? Because the captain told us to. And like, tactically, I suppose it makes sense that you want to keep your healing squad safe so that you can heal people when you have to, instead of go out there and fight and die, because honestly they were getting massacred. So it's like, okay, if all our doctors go out the door and start just fucking dying, maybe it would be better for them to not do that and stay put back so that they can come in later and actually help people. So I suppose that does make sense. I like that they also said like the reason why we stayed because we were honoring the order that Yamamoto gave us, which was his final order. But Isane looks very sad about this whole thing because it makes sense, you know, they stayed inside and a lot of people died, and it's like maybe we could have done something about it, but at the same time I know it wasn't a wise decision to do that, but you feel powerless about it. And then we got to see all of the captains talk to each other about Yamamoto being dead. They're talking about how they couldn't find his body, they couldn't recover it. If I remember correctly, Yahabaka fucking disintegrated his body. We get to see all the captains being torn about his death. We have a messenger of the say that they come in, and it's like, I'm informing you that Captain Kuchiki and Captain Saraki, they're alive. And I'm like, what? And it's like, yeah, but they're in critical condition and might not be seen fight anytime soon. And then Soifun gets real upset. And I like this. And she's upset for like this entire episode, and I like this a lot. She's like fucking shut up. Don't you see that like this is a bad moment? Like we're all feeling like shit. Give us a second to like grieve for the head captain. And then Kensei is like, stop. Like fucking stop yelling. Like we need to know information, it's fine. And then Soifun is like, oh, you're gonna tell me to shut up, because of course you would. You hated the head captain because of that exile thing that he did like 500 years ago or whatever. Like, of course you would love to just disrespect him, and things is like, shut the fuck up. Like, they just start fighting each other because like Soifun is definitely being overly emotional and hurt over the fact that we just got fucked over. And I like seeing Soifun like that because I feel like Soifun is a great character. I really like Soifun as a character because she pretends to be really cold, but then she's also really emotional. She just doesn't like that she's very emotional. And I like that this episode she's just being very emotional, angry, And it makes sense that she would be the one that's super angry at what's happening. Also, she kind of jobbed during the battle. She gave the enemy a nuke, by the way. Again, I have no fucking clue why she used the nuke. I have to say it again. From like a writing perspective, to me, it feels like TYBW wanted the Quincy's to have a nuke for a future event, so then it will become relevant. So then he was like, all right, I'm gonna have Soifon give them the nuke. And then I'm sitting here like, why would Soifon have used that during the battle? She would have blown up the Seirete. They're trying to protect the Seirete. Why would she use that in a home field? But anyway, I'm questioning things that probably don't matter too much. But I like how Soifon is angry. And I like that Kyoraku comes in and he's like, all right, everybody, shut the fuck up. We need to chill down. And then they're like, Kyoraku, like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, listen, the old man would have probably been like, y'all shut the fuck up. We need to focus. So that's what we're gonna do. And I like that Kyoraku is the one that's like kind of taking charge here. And he's saying these things because one, he's right. And second, out of all people, I'm pretty sure that Kyoraku is the one that is the most hurt over losing Yamamoto. Because you can see the previous episode, actually. He gets fucking shot and fucked up. And I'm surprised he's still alive. Because when Yamamoto dies, he immediately, like, notices it. He feels that. And then he just screams, like, Yamaji! And then he gets shot. He gets distracted in an emotional moment. And I like that. Because out of all people, it feels like he was the one that was definitely closest to Yamamoto. Then, as well, Ukitake a little bit. Like, they were, like, training together. They grew up together. And like, you can see a flashback previous episode where he, as a kid, is talking to Yamamoto. And they're talking about the Quincy King, and that's cool too. Like, he's a thing of legend to them. Like, since he was a kid, he was, like, hearing about this demon that we have to, like, push out at one point. And if he ever comes back, oh boy, you better not. I hope it doesn't happen. And, like, it's really cool that we have this thing set up for Yamamoto and Kyoraku. And now Kyoraku is the one that feels like first of all, he understood Yamamoto the most, and maybe he's gonna be the one taking charge here. That would be cool if he became the new head captain. Like, if we need a head captain, then I would nominate Kyoraku. And the reason why it's cool is because out of all people, Kyoraku is the one that really feels like the most blasé, like the most like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, it feels like he's constantly smoking weed. So it's cool that he's the one that, first of all, he cares. He has maybe a personal vendetta now. And he's also the one that's trying to keep a level head here. Because Kyoraku is smart. Kyoraku is a smart captain. The fact that he's blasé and he plays like a fool doesn't necessarily mean that he's won. In fact, he's the stereotype of character that he's super, super smart and super capable. He just doesn't show it at any time. But whenever he does, it's really cool. I like that, and I kind of want Kyoraku to take command now. Also, he has a cool eye patch now, and I really like that. It's a good look. He is keeping his emotions in check when Soifon is not, which also shows like a level of maturity that he is putting on here. Because we know how much he did care, because we saw it. But he is not showing it here, and I think that's really cool. I've been talking about this shit for like 40 minutes. What the fuck am I doing in my life? I feel like I haven't said anything yet. I was thinking like my voice is getting really tired, and now I'm like, oh yeah, I've been going for a long time. What the fuck? So, something Kukaku Shiva said here is, even if that means making Uncle sad, and it's very clearly an image of her, Ganju, and Ishin, who is Ichigo's dad. Oh, by the way, you can see what squad he has in his back now, but I don't know which one that is. Okay, I found that. So on the Bleach wiki, I'm just clicking first division, second division, and I'm gonna try to find which one is the one that Ichigo's dad was the captain of. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 8. It's not 9. Oh, is it 10? It might be 10. Because the 10 is a cross. It's not the same cross, but it might just be a stylization thing. But I think it is. I think it is 10. I think Ichigo's dad was captain of squad 10. Anyway, so they say, even if that means making Uncle sad, are they related to Ishin and therefore by Ichigo, by extension? I mean, okay, here's the thing, is that when you say uncle, they could be referring to an actual uncle, or they could be referring to someone that, like, looked after them, and they considering him an uncle. But Ichigo could be related to Ganjo and Kukaku Shiba. He could be, I guess. Hello, this is me, like, almost 2 days later, recording this while I'm editing the episode at 7 in the morning. This is where I realized that Kaien, who was Kukaku and Ganju's brother, whose whole deal was that he died saving Rukia, and Rukia had to like kill him after he got possessed by Hollow or something, and that was an entire point of conflict during Soul Society. And the reason why Rukia got attached to Ichigo in the first place is because he really reminded her of Kaien. And now with the added context that we just got in this episode that they call Ishin uncle, and I was wondering, do they mean a real uncle or just like a uncle figure? No, I think they mean a real uncle. I think they are Ichigo's cousins, and so was Kaien, and that's why he looks so similar, because they are related. Kaien is actually in the same family tree as Ichigo, and so are Kukaku and Ganju. Okay. Man, what the Bleach is going nuts. It's like, it feels crazy to me that like 400 episodes in or whatever, this is where Bleach is finally just going nuts. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my god. Like, these are things that you feel like should have been revelations like way sooner, but no, they're coming in like 400 episodes in, and it's crazy to me. Okay, sorry, this is just an added extra that I wanted to add as an audio only thing. I'm just gonna go back to editing the episode now. See you. Okay, so Kukaku does say, don't forget who took you off the streets of the Rukon district. Okay, so I guess because of that line of dialogue, okay, I guess that what I thought earlier is true then. Ginjo, Tsukishima, and Giriko all died and went to Soul Society and showed up in the Rukon district. And I suppose when you die, you retain your individuality and shit. Like, you're not reborn as another like entity. So I guess like kids like Rukia or Renji that died and show up in Soul Society, I suppose they are babies that died, they're children that died or something, I guess. But anyway, so I guess they did die, went to heaven in the Rukon district, and Kukakushiba was like, all right, these guys are really strong, we're gonna need their help later, so I'm gonna recruit them. And they're all like, all right, sure, whatever, we have nothing else to do, we're fucking dead, so whatever. I like that she's training them. So let me say this real quick right now. I love Kukakushiba. Where did I fucking put her in my like fucking tier list? She is in I love you tier, which is the second tier. She's alongside like Ichigo and Shinji and Urahara and Yoruichi and Aizen. I hate Aizen, but he's a really good antagonist. I would honestly, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm putting Kukakushiba like one tier above, which is the highest tier, alongside Rukia, Tier Haribo, Genichimaru, and Kukakushiba. I'm pushing her one tier up because she deserves it. I'm happy to see her again. Like, Kukakushiba is a character we really never see around. Like, we only saw her when they needed to infiltrate Soul Society, and then she shows up at the end when Aizen is escaping. She shows up with Jidambo, and then I don't think we ever see her again. Maybe she shows up in the Bound arc, which is filler, because I remember Ganju shows up in that, and I was like, this is stupid. But I don't remember if she ever shows up at any other time. I love her way too much. And I love that she only has one arm here. That, I mean, we don't even see the other one because she's wearing like a cape. I like the cape look. It's a good look. I like that she only has one arm because I remember in the original anime, she has like a fake arm. She has like a prosthesis. And I remember seeing that apparently in the manga she didn't have that. She was straight up missing an arm. I love that. Actually, that's one of my favorite things in character design. Whenever we see a cool badass chick who's missing an arm, sometimes missing an eye, this usually go hand in hand. All I'm saying is Baiken is my favorite Guilty Gear character. That's all I'm getting to here. And Kukakushiba gives me shades of Baiken. I consider her to be Bleach Baiken. I love her very much. So I'm kicking her up like one tier above. I'm so happy she was in this episode. Anyway, so the Fullbringers are training to come and help alongside Ganju, who now has a mullet. Why does Ganju have a mullet? I mean, sure. I guess he did have a mullet before, but this time is like really prominent. But like, I'm thinking, like, what the fuck is Ganju gonna do? Like, Ganju is fucking Ganju. He couldn't do jack shit before. What the fuck is he gonna do now? Like, he's gonna show up to like Yahabaka. He's gonna show up to the Quincy King during the final battle, and he's gonna throw like a firecracker at his face, and that's gonna like distract him for a second for Ichigo to deal the final blow. That's how that's gonna go down. I don't see Ganju doing jack shit. And it's like, you can train all you want, my man, but like, what do you do? Maybe the Fullbringers can teach Ganju how to use a Fullbringer, which will just be a fucking firecracker, like a rocket or something. And then he's gonna use that, and then he's gonna get Soifon's Bankai, and he's gonna blow up a city. That's Ganju. That's what he's gonna do. Anyway, I think that's really it for this episode. Is there anything else I can say? We got to see Ichigo and Rukia talk to each other for a little bit. That was nice. I like seeing them talk again. I love those two. I wanted to see them interact, and I'm sad that it took this long for that to happen. And now we're not even talking too much. It was Rukia in bed being like, hey, you came here to help us, right? Thank you. And Ichigo was like, I don't think I did anything. And it's like, no, you drove the opposition away. And it's like, I'm not sure if that was him, though. I think that was Aizen. But they don't know that. I suppose Ichigo distracted the Quincy King from, I don't know, massacring like thousands, maybe everyone. So I suppose he delayed him a little bit. So I guess maybe he did help, but he still feels like it didn't. But I do like that Shinji is like, yeah, he probably feels like shit that he wasn't able to help us out way too much. And then Rukia's like, no, it feels like there's something else bothering him. And it's like, I like that Rukia's the one that says that, because Rukia knows him. Rukia knows Ichigo. She understands him. So I like that she's able to tell that something else is bothering her. Something more personal. So that's very nice. Anyway, I think that's really going to be it for this episode. I don't know if there's anything else I can say. Saraki is in the preview for next episode, which is called The Drop. Like, I finished watching the episode, right? And I messaged my friend and I was telling them about this episode. And I was like, yeah, so there's a preview for next episode. It's called The Drop. And I'm like, what do you mean The Drop? I feel like we've been dropping for 7 weeks straight. What do you mean there's a drop now? What do you mean this is where the drop happens? I don't believe you that this is where the drop happens. I feel like the drop has been happening for the past 6 weeks. Anyway, I'm excited for next episode. I don't know what the fuck's happening, but this episode definitely did feel more like downtime because, oh boy, we needed it. And yet simultaneously has given me so much to talk about. So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode of Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode of Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War. Check out the link in the description below for the Patreon, where you can watch the next couple of episodes as well as supporting the channel. Check out my social media, all sorts of cool stuff that I do, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care everybody. Bye bye.